everybody. My name is Dr. Sean Price, clinical coordinator here at Kairos in Fort Walton Beach, and this is our final video in the series on thyroid metabolism. We talked about underconversion. We talked about the primary thyroid metabolic pathway, which is what is typically tested for. We talked about nutrient deficiency. We talked about stress. We talked about all kinds of different aspects of what can happen in the thyroid metabolic pathway. Today we're going to finish off with talking about hormones and blood sugar. Now, first thing I wanted to say about blood sugar. Blood sugar is what we call a deal breaker. If your blood sugar is not stable, if it's too high, if it's too low, if it's a combination of those things, blood sugar causes chronic inflammation in the body. It is a chronic stressor on the body, and it will totally affect how your body processes and how your body works. So we call it a deal breaker because if you don't fix blood sugar, you will not heal. It leads to leaky gut syndrome, it leads to chronic inflammation, it leads to immune challenges, it leads to bacterial overgrowth. There's so many things that blood sugar affects. So with that being said, one of the major things that blood sugar affects is the adrenals because it is a metabolic stressor. So it causes that fight or flight response. Now, if you are under stress, if your adrenal glands are constantly under stress, first response is you have high adrenal symptoms. You can't sleep, you're agitated all the time. You feel that addicted feeling, that adrenaline rush constantly. Your mind's always going. If it goes on for too long, you continue to have those symptoms, but you mix in there fatigue. You can't get up. You wake up in the morning and you feel like you haven't slept at all, even though you got a full 8 hours of sleep. Through the day, you're just not yourself. You lose sexual desire. You lose emotional responses to things. You things you used to be really interested in, now you just really don't care about them. You almost feel depressed. A lot of other symptoms come along with adrenal fatigue. But with regards to the metabolic pathway, if cortisol levels go down because of adrenal fatigue, then what happens is your body the liver makes cholesterol. Cholesterol is very, very critical in the body. I know that in our society we've made it out to be the devil. If you have elevated cholesterol issues, it is not hard to fix. If you just get blood sugar under control, if you just get your adrenals back to functioning, 9 times out of 10 that cholesterol comes right into normal. Suppressing it with medication causes huge problems in the body. I'm not going to go into that right now, but if you want to come in and talk to me about your cholesterol and have me help you get that straightened out, feel free to do so. So cholesterol converts into pregnenolone. Pregnenolone converts into progesterone, cortisol, testosterone, and estrogen. If cortisol is low because of adrenal fatigue syndrome, the adrenal glands are very, very critical to health. If your adrenals stop functioning, you're dead within 3 days. So the body knows this. So the body starts to siphon its resources to try to get those cortisol levels up. When that happens, your progesterone, your testosterone, and your estrogen go out of balance. So you end up with hormone imbalance. Then you go in and you start taking these hormone replacement therapies, these bioidentical hormones, which wreak havoc on the body in the long term. Sometimes they're okay in the short term, but you don't want to be on them more than 2 or 3 months because once you do that, you start having downregulation of receptor sites. And I go into that in my series on hormone dysregulation. So please find that, and that'll give you a lot of information. But if you have hormone imbalances, what's going to happen is 9 times out of 10, because we have a lot of exposures to exogenous estrogen, our estrogen levels are going to go high compared to our progesterone and our testosterone. Even in men who are on testosterone creams, if you run salivary testing on them, a lot of times you'll find that they're taking the testosterone that's in their blood, and through aromatization, because they're under stress, they're converting that to estrogen in the tissues. So what happens is you end up with somebody who's in estrogen dominance. Now, estrogen dominance can happen in 2 ways. Number 1, there's either too much estrogen, or number 2, estrogen is normal, but progesterone is low, so it's still dominant. If you have too much estrogen in the body, that leads to all kinds of problems, breast cancer, all these different issues. But with regards to thyroid metabolism, estrogen will bind to thyroid binding globulin. Now, remember, T4 is the inactive form of the thyroid hormone. It has to bind to thyroid binding globulin so it can go out and be converted. If estrogen is binding to that thyroid binding globulin and taking those receptor sites, then this T4 can never go to get converted. And that's going to give you low thyroid symptoms. So this is just another way that the thyroid metabolic pathway cannot work to completion, which is getting T3 to the cells and getting it inside the cells. So hormone imbalances are a big factor in this. Again, the black is all that's tested medically. They're just looking at TSH, maybe T4 and T3. There are 11 different tests on the thyroid specifically that need to be run. Then all of this needs to be tested as well. And that's how you get to the final solution of what is going on with you metabolically. All right, I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to post below. And if you need anything, please give us a call at the office. Have a great day.